Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons. Make sure to subscribe. We are trying to hit 50,000 subscribers until the end of the year, so let's get going. Yes, I already am posting the 3 predictions for the next patch video, and I wanted to make the other video that I always do together with that, which is the 5 wishes that I personally have for the next patch. I always like to do this early, as I said in the other video, and I always like to talk about this stuff very early in the patch, so that it tries to get more people, and I kinda can have a more spaced out idea, like away from the patch, because if I have an information that something is coming for the patch, for example, it tends to be normally will be in this thing if I like the thing in the list. So yeah, I just prefer to just go ahead and do it way before the patch. So yeah, we are going to have the patch in like 3 months, but I already wanted to make this video. Okay, so let's get going. The first one is obviously improvements for the maps that we have. So yeah, the maps that we had, the increased maps that we had in the RB, are indeed the right step in the right direction, right? It's amazing, I love it, but it is very limited. As many other YouTubers or content creators are talking about, it is a very limited thing. It's still basically the same map, but just with further away airfields, right? So it doesn't change the dynamic of the map too much. It changes a little bit because you have more space to spread out a little bit more, even though they increase the lobbies. The more we have a bigger map, it increases the chances of having a more spread out match, right? But you barely have that because we have few objectives, few bases, and just overall not a lot of things to do in the map other than kill targets. And I'm not talking about adding more aircraft bots, right? I'm talking about adding different types of objectives. For example, we can have some VIP or some kind of high value target for you to destroy in a current position of the map, maybe in a general area of the map, and you need to find it and then use a normal bomb, or maybe you need to use a guided bomb or something, or thermal to find it, or something like that. Maybe ships. We barely have any ships, so anti-ship missiles, when they are added for more aircraft, not only the Tornado IDS by the Infligger, we can have that as well. We can have many objectives. I plan to do a video talking a little bit specifically on simulator on that in the future, but in a general idea, I think this is an overall line of thinking that everybody likes, right? We need more objectives, and as I said, I'm not talking about more Yak 38 that nobody cares flying around. We're talking about actual objectives. Maybe even objectives with very heavy AA systems near them, so you need to be careful on destroying them, and the rewards are big enough to make it so that it's viable to do that. More bases, different bases with different objectives. Maybe some bases that need napalm to be destroyed, some bases that need maybe a bunker, for example, as a base, and you need a new type of bomb that they add that can penetrate it, something like that. The airfields to destroy. I mean, the possibilities are there, man, in the real life, so it needs to be added, right? So this is my first and biggest wish, to be honest, to have this type of same line of thinking that they are doing, but more of it, and more objectives, and more, just more. Yeah. The second one is, I have to say it, right? I always will add this at some point. The addition of the MiG-25. Yes, a lot of people say that it's not going to be meta. I really don't care. It doesn't need to be. Not all aircraft needs to be meta. I even want to make a video about this because a lot of people think that every single aircraft that we have added to the game needs to be the best out there at killing aircraft or at destroying ground targets, because that's the main 2 objectives that we have, and that's just not really true, right? If we had a later edition of the MiG-25, like the PDS, with the maps that we have right now and the EC maps, it would be an amazing aircraft with an incredible acceleration. It's not like a MiG-29, but it does accelerate better The thrust weight is problematic, but still it is going to be the same as a Tornado ADV, but just having more speed, basically. A radar that it's kind of similar, around 100 kilometers of range, but better missiles than the Super Skyflash. So if the Tornado ADV is there, why not the MiG-25? And other aircraft, I mean, yes, it doesn't have a cannon. Yes, I know all the myths and the problems with the MiG-25. I really don't care. It is an iconic aircraft and it needs to be added. It's like saying that the F-14 should not be added because it cannot do air to ground. So it doesn't need to be added because air ground matches will not use the F-14. Yeah, I don't care. It's an iconic aircraft. It needs to be there. It's the same principle on these type of aircraft. And I think all of these interceptors need to be added, including the MiG-25. With the new maps, it would be amazing. Of course, later the MiG-31 as well, but let's just talk about the 25 for now. The third one is the RWR Rework. I think the RWR right now is alright. I think it has the blind spots and it is realistic on that. Each aircraft has its own RWR, but it needs to be further improved. The more we go into the future on technology and missiles and stuff, the more we will need a better RWR. And I'm not talking too much. I will not ask too much out of this. If he had at least a launch warning or something like that, it would already be amazing. It would already be a lot easier to actually defend yourself. Not that we need to, it's not that difficult to evade these missiles, but it would make it so that it is a little bit more realistic. Maybe in the future, a really good full fidelity RWR, like saying what type of aircraft it is that it's locking you or something like that. Or even if it's an AA system, maybe the distance as well. A lot of these RWR, especially the Beriosa, tells you the distance of the target very precisely. And also even Fox 3 launches. So it would mean that, of course, the missiles would be a little bit less effective, but it would mean that the game would be a little more realistic. I don't know if they are not adding it because of that, or because they need to do research or anything like that, if it's a gameplay thing or whatever, right? But I do think that we need that RWR rework before it's too late. Once we get Fox 3, advanced Fox 3 from the 90s, I think it will be way more problematic on not having a proper RWR that's at least tell you the launch warning, right? Then the fourth one, more maps in the rotation in Verity. So in RB, we don't have many maps. I don't know if it's because players are just banning those maps, but there is not a lot of maps in the rotation. We have the new Pyrenees map, I think it's called, the new C9 that we are having, and the Moscow one, then City, and then some others, minor ones, but it's basically that for now. There are some others, as I said, but I think it's kind of limited, and especially in the sense of types of map. So for example, C9 is a very good map because it has ocean, so they can add some ships, for example, but it does have some grounds that can be added in the middle there, has some kind of mountains close or hills, and then we have Pyrenees that it has a very good, like, just a very open space in the middle of the map, but in the sides it's filled with mountains that you can actually hide and stuff. So it's just an amazing map. So we need more variety like that, cool locations like that, and we have such maps. They just needed to be added to the rotation. I mean, I don't know why they just don't make more of the use of these maps. We have some maps that are only used for props, and if they get the bigger versions of it, it would be an amazing map for air being top tier as well. So we need more variety of maps, I think. And then the final one, the fifth one, is of course another thing that includes to these RB kind of air top tier kind of situation right now. Enduring Confrontation, a lot of people ask for this. I don't know why they didn't do it yet, but yes, I think we need an RB similar to SB battle. So an Enduring Confrontation that you can hop in and spend 2 hours flying if you want, do different types of missions, adding different types of missions, and just a rework on that as well would be amazing. I don't think it's too much trouble, I guess. I don't know. I mean, maybe it is, but I don't know. I just feel like the Enduring Confrontation is such a cool kind of thing happening, you know, in simulator, but it needs to be in RV as well. And for the love of God, in the bigger maps, because simulator in the smaller maps are just awful. They are really awful. You just get a massive cluster of aircraft just flying in the middle of the map, and you barely have time to do anything, and you're already being fired upon. So we need the bigger maps to be the these Enduring Confrontation RB, similar to what the bigger maps on the SB is. For example, Afghanistan and those types of maps, right? I think it would be fairly appreciated, and if people were playing simulator on those maps, they would play RB on those maps as well. I don't know if it's because maybe it's going to pull too many players from normal matches, but if that happens, I mean, more reason to actually make it Enduring Confrontation like ongoing forever, right? So yeah, I don't know about your opinion, but I think this would be amazing. So yeah, these are my 5 wishes for the upcoming patch, but if we get during this year these 5 things, it would be amazing already. Doesn't need to be in the next patch, but it would be very, very cool. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what are your 5 wishes in the comments below. I will read them all, and I see you guys on the next one. So bye guys, subscribe, see you.